Tuesday, really? That's it? Yeah, it's a Tuesday. Janet Yellen speaking today, so that could be a huge market mover. But it's the 21st of June, 2016. I think yesterday was the longest day, or is it today? The longest day of the year, summer solstice. And just out of a piece of information about this time of year, which I think was the 22nd, Germany attacked Russia on the longest day of the year. So yeah, shortest day of the year for BJ. Well, there you go. Huh? So without further ado, let's get all set for the day. Lots to do and discuss. All right, my friends, now that our office space is cleaned up, let's get ready for another trading day. First, let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance is never indicative of future results. Always stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. My name is Wayne McDonell. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. We're an ECN. You pull the trigger on a trade. It could be stocks. Well, no. Let's say Forex, energies, metals, indices. Stick to the script. Stick to the script. So you pull the trigger and boom, we execute it super fast. I have done independent third-party tests on execution, both in and out of the trade, and we're far faster than most, in particular the big boys. So give us a try. Swing on by TradersWay.com, open up a demo, open up a live account, so on and so forth. Hope to earn your loyalty. That's why I'm here every day. That's why I'm here every day. I'm trying to earn your loyalty. I want you to succeed. We do these sessions Monday through Thursday here at Forex.Today, 7:30 in the morning, which is New York time, which is approximately London lunch. And every Friday at FX Street, where I'm also Forex Speaker of the Year, so you can attend those premium webinars at fxstreet.com. Get on with it! All right, my friends, so this is where we left off yesterday, and it's one of those ones that kind of makes you smile, right? Because I said if you were a bear, you want to sell off the top, which worked. And if you're a bull, you wanted to buy off the bottom, which we have here, which worked. Just whether you did it or not, right? And then, of course, whether you stayed in it or not, or didn't do anything or not, right? It shows you how important these key levels of support and resistance are. It's kind of neat. Is it a big deal one way or the other? No, it's just how it played out. It's just kind of funny that worked off our support and resistance lines. So on Friday, I think it was, I set you guys up on this pound Swissy. I noticed I got a lot of likes on Forex.Today, which is really cool. So it's gone now from the entry at 37. It's gone as high as almost 142. Pretty cool. Very nice. Oh, we got another poll. Right on. Thank you, Andrew. I'd like to point out what I guess I would call the trade plan of the day on Forex.Today. why is my logo there? Weird. I'll have to look into that. Anyways, this was posted by Jim. Jim's looking to sell the Euro USD. Just setting it up now, which was just an hour ago. Has hit previous long-term resistance, which is a 786 of the previous down move. We're also at a 618 Fibonacci retracement of yesterday's move. 4-hour stochastics pointing down, 15-minute Stokes is not yet turning. There is a gap created on Sunday, which should fill. This should also move price down to the 21. Great. By the way, some of these things, like when you're talking about the 4-hour, you leave that in the comment section of the image, because it asks you for like a title. There's your title. And then it has a comments area for the image, and it would put it put it below the chart. So you would have that, 4-hour pointing down, and that kind of stuff. So there's Jim's trade. He's got some resistance there that looks good. Plus he's doing a gap fill strategy. Just a little comment on there. The gap fill strategy would be more valid if it occurred within the first few hours, not necessarily the next day. So just I don't know, be careful on that. So here he is. He's at resistance. He's looking to sell for multiple reasons on multiple time frames. Here's what his chart looked just recently, right? Just literally minutes ago. And if we go over to Euro USD now, okay, so if you look at Euro USD now, on the 1-minute chart, it's done this since the short setup there. You see how there's not even a red candle yet? Right on the 786, right on the roll reversal, line it all up, and down, 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 down. That's what it looks like. Here's the little move up, and boom. So Jim nailed it. 3 points. Whoop, whoop. Nothing to net. So I want to give feedback to Jim on that good one. I'm going to be the first one to give it a like. Will somebody else give Jim some feedback on that one? Nailed it. 3 points. Nothing but net. Here's the link. Cool. Thank you, Jim. So remember, the whole point of Forex.Today is that you share as well as grow and learn, collaborate. Of course, his trade's right there on the homepage. So thank you for participating, everyone. That's really cool. All right. Anyone else going to leave a trade? Quite a few people did yesterday. It was really good to see some of the trading ideas. Here, let me just filter it here. There's some really nice trades in here. Zelda's got one up there. Joe's got one up there. Joe's got one on Swissy yen. I haven't actually seen this one. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you see how Joe's placed the comments on the actual chart? What you want to do is put it under the comment area. So like, let me show you again. I'm going to add a video, so you guys are properly trained. Okay, so I'm going to add a trading idea. Okay, you see how there is a little area here for your analysis, and then you add a title for your chart, and that goes up in bold letters above your chart. And this is where so let's say 15-minute chart, right? Let's say you could just label it like that. And then under here this is where you put your analysis. This is where I put my analysis specifically for this chart. And this could go on for paragraphs. Blah, 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 right? And that just simply gets put normal size text underneath your chart. And then you want to, let's say, add a daily chart. You simply just click on Attach Files. It allows you to pick another chart. Okay. This is a fundamental chart. You get the idea, right? Down here is where you'll put your comments specifically for that chart. You can go on and on and on and on and on. 5-paragraph chart should have 5 images, right? Or so on and so forth. And that's how you do it. So all the great details will go down in here. Okay? So image, details, image, details, image, details. It's really nice. Looks really nice. Good formatting. Okay, so instead of putting it on the image, which is really hard to see, especially on multiple, someone might be reading this on their tablet and it'll look like that, and they're not going to be able to see. Okay, but thanks, Joe. That's really neat. So you can see role reversal in here. Joe's got it coming down like a ton of bricks. Swissy yen isn't something that I trade, so I don't know what's going on in this one. To me, they're both risk-off currencies. Money would be flowing to Switzerland for safety, in particular from European investors. They're going for cash, getting out of the stock market, and just moving their cash to their Swiss bank account. And I see the Japanese yen very similar for Asian investors. Okay, so on and so forth. So to me, they're both risk-off currencies. That's why I wouldn't necessarily trade it. But thanks. Again, thanks for sharing. Let's collaborate. Maybe Joe doesn't know that. Cool. Cool. All right. So we're going back in here. And by the way, that's a perfect place to re-enter if you're actively trading today versus just shorting and going away. Okay. That's how I would look at that. Oh, what is that? Gold? Gold on a pivot. Let's go over to gold. While I bring that up, let's take a quick look around the world. S&P 500 up a half, futures obviously up 0.5%. Euro stocks up 0.5%. Crude oil down 1.5%. The 10-year, the yield on the 10-year T-note is still 1.67. That's unbelievably low, but of course to many other countries that's unbelievably high. Euro USD fairly stable up until Jim's trade. Jim knocked it down. DAX up about 0.5%, not quite a half, but seems to be a theme there. FTSE flat, Hang Seng up 0.75%, not bad. USD yen's up 0.75%, and CAC is up about 0.5%. So again, European equity is up about 0.5% across the board, with Fed Fund futures rates about the same as well. Only FTSE is flat. I guess new money is not going into the FTSE. I wonder why. Marina says, can we post trades even if we don't use my strategy 100%? Marina, absolutely. I know you prefer cleaner charts, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'd love to see your ideas, Marina. Absolutely. It's not about me. And in fact, Marina, what would be cool is if you do post your analysis, you know, the way that Forex.Today is evolving is that you'll be able to attract your own, you'll be able to attract your own community. So if you're an active member and you post often and people are liking what you do, what I'll do is I'll upgrade you to an analyst level so you can develop your own community so that people can follow you. You'll have your own blog page, right? So it would say something like forex.today/user/Marina, and you'll be able to track, your followers and communicate with them and so on and so forth. Maybe even set up a private group, you know? Yeah, so by all means. So here are my followers. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah, gold. I was spying over here that we're on a pivot. Let's say you 1 hour. So let's. There's no pivots there. Let's look at this. This might be too messy, right, Marina? All right. That's a daily. I don't want to do this one. Let's try a different chart. That's the same thing. It's just different pivots. Over here on this setup, I have weekly S1 right here at, was it 1269? This is interesting. I got weekly support 1 here on the other platform. All right, so just different platform time. So what I'm babbling on about, of course you can't see what I'm looking at, that I have this, right here is a weekly support. But on this platform, weekly support's a little higher. But nonetheless, if you were a bull, you're going to look at this 21 as a launching pad, right? So your trade plan is, I wonder if it'll do this. You don't like this at all, okay? If you're range bound, you already made that trade and you sold it because of this, okay? And your target is down here. If you don't see this as a range, you're going to see it as a Fibonacci retracement, and you're going to trade something like this, and you'll look at those moving averages as a launching pad. Okay? Doesn't look like it's trending though, does it? No, I'm a big fan of clean though, Marina. Absolutely. Clean, clean, clean. This is very short term, as you can see. So make a decision. Right? This was not much of a higher high. So, this could even 786 if you're going to trade it that way. See, I don't think I'd trade it that way. To me, it comes down to psych levels and key pivots. So if you were going to be a bull on gold and you thought, wow, this Brexit thing could really be good for gold if they exit, then you kind of want to buy this, right? Because you can see remains already being priced in. So what isn't being priced in is exit. So anyway, so what else is going on? I have dollar index also on a pivot point. I think it's the same one, support pivot. Yeah, weekly support and then, right, weekly support 1 for dollar index. Chinese currencies trying to weaken again, or the dollar's going up, right? Well, on Dixie, it's not quite going up at the moment. It's just found support, so maybe it will. So that means the renminbi is weakening a bit. Copper, remember copper yesterday, I believe we had it at support. It finally did go up and has retraced a bit, and it's at the weekly central pivot point right now as support. So that's copper. And then oil's come down like oil. Neat, huh? So the big news here, you can see it's not quite pivot points. It's $50, right? That's $50 right there, the exact top. Right? So now you need to decide what you want to do. Are you going to buy the dip, or are you a seller up in here already? Or another trade plan you could have on this if you're a bear, let it bounce here at the cluster of pivots, and then short the lower high or double top or whatever. Retest at 50. Maybe it only gets to 49.90 and then drops. You see what I mean? And this goes maybe like this. Remember yesterday, even though we were elevated up into here, some of the things we talked about for oil coming down is increase in rig counts. That was Bushtan, yeah. Okay. Maybe. All right. It doesn't feel like it's going to cut through that like a hot knife, does it? Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, it certainly does not. But you notice that, and I think we talked about this yesterday, if not, I think we did. Weekly S1 predicts weekly R1 as being the top, which makes this an inside, week. And again, that would make sense with Brexit. We're not sure if it should be risk on or risk off, right? Oh, so that was the trade plan, Bushman? Yeah, right on. Cool. But I know it's been on, the center or cornerstone of your focus, but as you probably know, Turkey kept interest rates at 7.5%. Thank you, Turkey. Japanese Finance Minister Aso, would you call me? He will not intervene in the FX markets without due consideration. Japanese Prime Minister Abe, Want to make use of negative interest rates for growth investments. Will compile extra budget once tax revenue estimate is confirmed. Okay, fine, great. What does that mean? Means it's early. Oh yeah, the meeting minutes, Australian meeting minutes. Seems like they don't mind weak. Right now, Aussie yen and Aussie dollar has been going up. Now that one I actually haven't downloaded and read, but do as I say, not as I do. You should download and read that. Zelda, actually, we talked about your trade plan a little bit on Forex.Today. So thank you for sharing your post. German Zoo came out. Tiny little bit of improvement. Right on. Okay. So the focus really, now that the meeting minutes have come out of Australia, and of course that was, for me yesterday. But now we have Janet Yellen giving her testimony, and well, we already heard from her recently from the Fed meeting, so there shouldn't be anything crazy there. But maybe she says something new. Maybe it feels like she says something new. When she speaks, the markets can move. So look for pronounced dollar strength or weakness today. Like I've already mentioned, we're currently stuck at the weekly support 1 pivot point. So it's not going up or down, but nor is Grandma Yellen speaking. Okay. But, definitely focus on the dollar pairs today, right? Some of the yen pairs are a little bit dangerous at this point if you're thinking of buying them, because here's the typical amateur move. They've been up all day, so now you want to buy them. We know how that works out, right? Did I do this one already? Oh, I already did this one. But still, I want to point something out. Let's change this to, is it daily? I guess daily. Okay. See the daily 21? That very often acts as resistance. Right? Did here, and it did here, and it might do it here, right? If it does, and we kick off R1, the target's going to be S1, which is the actual double bottom. Kitty cat's got a little ways to go. Kiwi's much more aggressive, maybe because it's been flatter for longer. Richard, you just bought at the psych level? I prefer you let it break out and catch the pullback. That's all. All right, so Kiwi, you can see is Oscar Mike here. Amazing, right? That's the 5-minute chart. It's beautiful. So like the pound Swissy that I pointed out on Friday, which is now up 500 pips, this is a very similar move, but not on an hourly chart, okay, but on a 15-minute chart. Okay. See the higher high scenario? Right, as soon as you get the breakout, right, similar to a hammock, fib retracement long and gone. It's a standard breakout trade. It's a big move though, huh? Of course, every pullback to the 21 is a buying opportunity, right? Very, very big. Beautiful. It's a beautiful move there. Oh, you know what I want to do is same thing, but then bust it out to like, how about daily? So clearly, when you're looking at it on a daily time frame, support, right? Support, 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 support. All right, maybe, maybe. Ways to go in the move if you are a bull, right? You got to decide: are we on our way to 80 or not? If the answer is yes, then you know on smaller time frames you wanna grab these dips, right? So here's a classic example. We're here now. Let's say kind of. You can see how it closed the week. It went a little higher on a Thursday and then down on a Friday, and then Monday of the next week you buy it for the long, and it's the same thing. It's you know you see the bullish move, you like it, you turn bullish, and then you grab the dip. Now, of course, it collapsed. You wouldn't have known that, but same sort of thing where, yeah, this could go up for a day, and then it can come down for a day or two, and then you could buy it on Monday. Right? So you could drop into a smaller time frame and hope it comes back for you, or you could just wait 2, 3, 4 days and catch the pullback then. Oh, Marina caught the 74. Yeah, see that's a good trade. You know, if you're doing this, right, up to 74.20, right? And I teach you guys that you want to buy the pullback somewhere between 0, 0, and 80. That's just the classic zone, right? So the classic zone, you know, 80 is actually about here, and 0, 0 is about there, right? So boom, 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 up, up. Classic. Nice trade, Marina. Okay, and again, you know, even you know, no matter how you slice and dice it, you know, it's a breakout. Right? And then, of course, even that, golden. So Kiwi up, Aussie up, CAD lagging. What does that mean for us? Or what does it mean about CAD, I guess is the real answer. So if CAD is the weakest of the commodities, then what if the dollar gets strong today? Janet Yellen just says something that makes the dollar strong. Right? Then that could head up a little bit. I just don't want to do it. Just kind of looking around. I guess markets are just a little bit thin as we wait. So, you know, the yens are going up. I mean, we all know that. I guess we could look at Beast a little bit. Andrew says, I think I'm thinking what you're thinking, which by definition is called common knowledge. If I know you know what I know, then that's common knowledge. Okay. So here's the thing with the beast, eh? Oh, you know what? And this makes me think about something I said a little bit earlier. You see how this gap exists? I think it was Jim's trade plan. He's like, well, you know, the gap's got to fill. Okay, gap trading strategies say the gap should fill, but you know, I'm talking, let's say, certainly within the first 12 hours, but really, ideally, in the first 4 hours. Okay, but you know, 30 hours later, does it have to fill? No, it doesn't have to do anything. Okay, so I'd be careful with that. I just want to make that point. Yeah, so here we got in there. So does this look like a good opportunity to buy the pound yen? This is what you've been waiting for all week. You want it to get to this area and then you're going to buy it? Probably not, right? So if you were looking to sell this, now's the time to start looking for reversal patterns on time frames smaller than 4 hours. Another way of saying it is in the next 12 hours, there's a possibility that this move reverses. And then you'll say, aha, see, Wayne, the gap filled. Well, okay, yeah, okay, the gap filled. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah. What can I say? But yeah, so whatever, dude. You know, plan it. Put together a plan, right? So if you can't buy it now, doesn't mean you should sell it, but you could certainly plan for the sell, couldn't you? And what does Uncle Wayne say about hitting your targets early in the week? That very often in such situations, you will be touching the central pivot point by the end of the week. The one caveat to this is you know, obviously the British pound is being impacted by Brexit and emotions in regards to Brexit, both greed and fear. So, but we could have one poll in the next 12 hours that says, oh yeah, clearly the UK is going to exit. Boom. Okay. And of course that's going to take like a day, right? So at least put it together, plan it, right? So like let's say this got a good spike and then you get this and then boom and then maybe start shorting lower highs and stuff, right? So you look for something lower and then catch the higher short here, right? Or go ahead and just short there if you see the weakness come in at 154.50. Yeah, so I'm going to do the London morning on Friday. So if you want to get up, I don't know, what is it, 6 a.m. New York, London time, which is midnight my time. Is that about right? Midnight my time is what, 5 a.m.? Then I think that's what I'm going to do on Friday. Yeah, Zelda, I did gold. I have gold on support on one platform and not on support on the second one. Support identified as weekly, as a weekly pivot. But yeah, sort of sideways, really. Yeah, Andrew. So I want to get going just a little bit before the first polls or the first results start coming in, right? So I'm thinking midnight my time. I'm usually still dancing, but it's only a Thursday night, so Thursday night, Friday morning, so I'll have to like not go into the clubs. Because I love to dance. I was born to dance. So you can just tell. You can just tell. Natural dancer. I'm one wild and crazy guy, eh? So anyways, that doesn't look like there's much room for me. So if you're going to plan anything, maybe the counter trend. Yeah. Cha cha cha, y'all. Can you do the stanky leg? I learned something recently. Like, what are those kids doing? Oh, that's the stanky leg. Oh, you guys know that one? Maybe not. You don't have kids? Fine. Well, we got to look at Euro ZAR. Yeah, the stanky leg is part of the nay. If you, yeah, forget it. Oh, don't look at that. How did that happen? Don't look at that. That's right. Hey, Abigail, when I was a young man, meaning, I don't know, 25, 20, 20, 21, 20. I guess I was about 20. I danced cheek to cheek with a Russian ballerina. And I thought, wow, this isn't going to happen that often. Ooh. Anybody notice the pattern we've been talking about recently? If you, Uh, uh, uh. It is an inverse head and shoulders. The thing is, we're topping out already. What's that all about? But one would think this. Okay, that's interesting, isn't it? How about this cluster here? Even if it comes back down a little bit, which is plausible, right? What do you think? Is this going to be an important level? And of course, this is in play too, right? So maybe the market just hasn't really decided what it wants to do in these conditions. But like, if you were going to sell, you would sell here, right? Like, right? Weekly R1, monthly M3. We know a monthly M3 top predicts monthly M1 bottom. So if you were going to sell, you would sell there. And clearly somebody sold there, right? And then look, role reversal. If you were going to buy, you would buy there, right? So this is kind of the interesting thing I'd like to see is that the, the traders that are trading are doing exactly what you would expect them to do, which means two things, I suppose. One, you know that they know that you know, or no, that you don't, they don't know that you know, but whatever. It's logical. It's not, it's not an emotional move. These are logical moves. Um, and you can anticipate usually what the next move is going to be. Now, in this case, we don't really know, right? Because this is pointing down. So what does this mean? Well, I guess on the shorter time frame, you would sell, right? If you bought down here, you hope it doesn't do that, but it looks like it's going to, I guess is what it comes down to. Right. But obviously, if you bought down here on the roll reversal, you want it to go up. Okay. And then these guys will try again, and then they'll bring it down, maybe like that. So I can't buy it here, but you could set it up for a sell. There's definitely resistance there at the resistance pivot. You definitely have this going on. So if you're a bear, you really need to set it up. Okay. So we did gold and oil, the S&P 500. We did several of the major currencies. Pound dollar pretty close to a weekly pivot point, but through monthly. All right, so we're through the weeklies, right? But what I want to show is, wow, is that different? Hang on. I have weekly R1 on our top. $1.30 minute. Well, let me zoom in here. The next monthly pivot is up here, right? 48 and some change. So let's call it 48.50 is the next move for pound dollar. Okay? And we need this moving average to move up. It's not touching now, but if this does go up, then in a couple of hours it will be touching. Maybe this pivot and roll reversal acts as support, heads up, and we continue because these weeklies are dead. Now, it will produce a counter trend trade usually Friday or Monday, but then again, Brexit. So I can't really tell you what normally happens in a situation like Brexit. But it's reasonable if you're going to try to trend trade this to go up here. And then monthly M4, you're supposed to take your profit and go away. The most aggressive target here is R2, and that's 100% chance of you taking profit and going home. And notice that you might as well call it 150. I think if you got out at 149.64, no one's going to laugh at you. So I would assume something like this. Okay? Even if it doesn't do that, I'm going to play it like, if let's say I'm long and I'm here, I will absolutely, totally take profit. There's no doubt. Okay. Yeah, the thing is with Stokes, if you're trend trading, you're not really using Stokes that much. Okay. So the stochastics is an oscillator, which is more important for range-bound markets than trending markets. Okay. Yes, I'd rather it be oversold and rising. Okay. But to get this to fall, what had to happen is no higher highs, right? Look at no higher high, 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 no higher high. Big move, higher high, up, right? And of course, it's relative to the earlier one. So this bullish engulfing candle created the cross. And these lower lows and no higher highs created the downward move. So we're kind of getting that, right? No higher high, no higher high, but it is making a lower low, is making a lower low. Well, after, let's say, 4 hours from now, it might be heading back up, and this, what it'll do is another lower low, and without making a higher high, is going to bring this down. And then maybe another one, right? Again, not a higher high, but maybe not another low, bring this down. And then the next one's a higher high, and then it'll cross up. All right, remember the oscillator is lagging because it's counting the previous candles depending on your settings, and it's only telling you whether the lows are making lows or the highs are making highs. See here, the highs are making highs. Here, the lows are making lows. Here, the highs are making highs. Right? But is this a sell? Not really. It could have been. Right? You would have taken the shot if you were a bear. But it didn't work out, right? So it's not that the oscillator's telling you anything except what the candles are doing. So if you're trend trading, what's more important is the price action, right? The price action is higher high, higher low, buy at the roll reversal, long and strong, right? And you keep doing that until when? Okay. If you have a series of candles down here relative to this low, I'm going to look to sell the next rally. Probably off the same area. Okay. So you keep buying dips until there's a lower low, and then you start selling rallies. What? By the way, when I say that, you or you could say "Hua" or you could say "Oorah," depending if you're a Marine or Army grunt. Kurahi! If you're a trooper, paratrooper. So Richard says the only thing is when the trend reverses. No, 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 because trends tend to remain for a while, right? So you buy, you buy, you buy, right? You buy, you buy, you're out. What's the big deal? Thank you, Andrew. I have 45.44. You have 51.49? You're talking about the Daily Mail, right? Okay. Yeah, you can see that turned that around pretty quick, huh? Oh, baby, you should go and love yourself. Ba 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 ba. All right. And there's a pivot in there as your resistance zone. Artem, one thing you could do is subscribe to tradethenews.com because they give you heads up that it's coming too, right? Does it still have it here? Or did it? Yeah, upcoming. You know, so they told us at 8:14. There's a upcoming poll going to be released at 8:30, and then exactly 8:30, boom, the poll came out. Right? Gives you some background and all that kind of stuff. Yep. So it's one of these things. Spend money, honey. So are you going to take it at the R1 or not? Rob, big banks get out. So anyways, this is just trading. So you would sell at the R1 50%, or you're just not trading it, right? Initial reaction from the U.S. dollar, little bit of strength, not a little bit of strength. Canadian dollar weakness, as you already know, all the yens have rolled over. So what it did more than anything is risk off. Pound yen down sharply, euro yen down sharply. Um, CAD yen hit pretty hard, but we already knew that it was weak relative to the other commodity currencies, right? Okay. Now the question is, do you jam your stop at break even? Beautiful little trade. Who knows if it's going to stick? Yeah, Joseph says 0-0. Well, it comes down to whether you were a bear before the news or if you were a bull before the news. If a bull saw this, first move is, take profit. Second one is, scalp short just simply because it's a scalp. And maybe you'll pick up some pips along the way to pay for your the pips you dropped. And to you, it's just a short-term scalp. Now, if you were a longer-term bear, you wanted to sell this all day, but it's been up. You're in and you're holding it, right? It's your trade of the day. And as far as you're concerned, it's going to fall until probably tomorrow London before you're even going to be concerned about the next move, right? That's just another pull, Ben. Yeah. Well, yeah, we talked about this. I had this at weekly R1 on one of my platforms, and it's also a triple top, isn't it? Where do I have that? Yeah. So like I said, if you're a bear, you're going to hold this one. It's not just a scalp to you. It's your trade of the day, your trade of the week. So, right? Okay. Nice trade, guys, right? You should be in around 20. Nice. Love it when they work out. Tickety boo like that. I try not to, Eric. Um, Sometimes I do to make points, but I try not to because what happens is everyone just starts doing what I'm doing. Even if I've even tried experiments like I'm going to make a dumb trade. Watch me make a stupid trade and let's suffer through it. And all of a sudden, you can just hear the sound of 1,000 clicks. Even the dumb trades get copied. So I find that when I teach, if I start trading like that, then people just turn their minds off. So, um, I've done what 120 non-farm payrolls, so everyone knows how I scalp news. That's the entry. And I'm like, look, you're either going to sell it at the monthly R1 or you're not. It's a 50% retracement at a roll reversal, right? You either sell that or you don't know how to trade news, or you're just it's not an attractive trade to you. Which not being an attractive trade is fine by me. If you don't know how to trade news, then you need to ask me. I mean, I don't know. I've done it for 10 years teaching people how to trade the news, so I just assume you know. But that's a straightforward trade that, whatever. Where do you take profit? Usually at the next key support level, so you can look at things like pivot points and stuff. But like as I was saying before, if you're a short-term trader, so let's say you used to be a bull on this, but now it's bearish, okay, fine. Then you're just scalping. You just picked up 50 or 60 pips. Cool, right on. But if you're a bear and you've been waiting for this all day, you're in this for all day or the rest of the week. You know, short on a Tuesday, take profit on a Friday, right? Was that right, Ben? Yeah. Makes it fair and balanced, eh, Ben? So that's your 80-20 move, guys. Okay. So watch this cluster here as well. Zip, 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 right? There's 2 pivot points in there. Remember, a dip below that's going to turn things bearish on the longer term. And we're heading back down to the weekly central. Okay, so it depends on how all this comes together. All right, so remember the real news today is Grandma Yellen. She'll be speaking soon. So these big questions are, you know, excuse me, you know, like selling euro dollar at, you know, almost 114. All these things should be really, really straightforward if you're sticking to your analysis and sticking to your fundamental bias. Yes, you know, these news events move things around, but if you're a solid bear on some of these setups, it should be like just ridiculously easy. There's some ridiculously easy setups. And if you're a bull, there's some really good setups for you on some of these things. It's when you're not making these decisions, or that you're a bull this week and a bear last week, and you know, and who knows about the week after. That's when your trading really gets convoluted, and your results are simply not going to be consistent because your strategy is not consistent, right? Does that make sense? You're right. And how many times have I asked you to make your bias and put it on print it out on a like a PowerPoint slide, like why you're a bull or a bear on, let's say, the British pound, and 3 reasons why, and then print that out, put it on your wall. You should have at least a 3-month outlook, but certainly a 6-month outlook and or a 1-year outlook, right? And then what it does is it just clarifies everything. You know, just this week maybe you don't trade a lot because it's moving up and you're like a bear. But now we just got bearish move, right? And it's coming down. So now you're scalping here, but if we can get through this level, you know you're going to be hardcore selling rallies. And all of a sudden, it's really just almost easy. Doesn't make you profitable per se, but at least your trading is going to be consistent. And then you can work on improving. You can never work on improving if you're not consistent. Right? So in my book I say, right, consistency creates control. No, the other way around, sorry. Controlling your trading behavior creates consistency. And then consistency creates confidence because you have statistics that you've analyzed and you know your results. And you take confidence from that, saying, well, if I trade this double bottom with a higher high, I'm almost an 85% winner. And I'm going to trade this once again because I know there's an 85% chance I'm going to make money on this, just having traded this type of pattern many times before. And so you're like, I'm going to make this trade because, well, first of all, you have control because you're looking for that type of setup. And then you're consistently trading it in exactly the same way. But you're also tracking your results so that, you know, how could you possibly be confident if you don't know your results, right? So what if you could say something like, you know, I almost always make money in this situation. If the answer is yes, I always I almost always make money in this situation. Then when you pull the trigger, you're quite confident, and that's really where you need to get. Now, over the course of years, you might have 6 or 7 patterns like that. That when you pull the trigger, you're like, man, I am going to make some money on this. Out of confidence, not the silly confidence like, gosh darn it, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and people like me. Like, not that stuff. Not positive affirmation. No, blood, sweat, and tears for years, right? And that's the type of confidence because you got the results. It's almost like being a professional golfer. You pull a club out, you're like, what? How far is it? 193. 193. Okay, well, great. So you got the club you're thinking at first, and then you bend down, you pick up some grass, and you throw it in the air, and you're like, ooh, wind's coming in. And your caddy says, yeah, it's coming in from the left. Really? Because I got to kind of bring it around into that. So I'm going to be a club short. All right, give me the next one. Right? And you switch your clubs because well, I can hit it 193 with this, but with that slight wind, it's going to come up just a bit short. So I'm going to have to take the next club. But what if, you're like, well, it could be a 5 iron or a 7. I don't really know. Maybe even a 6. Maybe even a 6, really. It could be any one of these clubs. Just give me one. It don't matter none. It'll all work out, right? So that's how you kind of have to think. There was a golfer, I think in the 80s, like every other golfer, before every round, he had his caddy actually walk every hole of the course, measuring how many feet to that sand trap and how many feet to that curve, that bend, and because very often the notes they get are slightly off. But he would also do it because he wanted his caddy to mark all these things by the half yard, because 188 to the sand trap is not the same as 187 and a half. And he's like, well, because he's that good, he needs to know the half yard. So anyways, so trade safe, guys. This is a crazy week, right? Don't go broke this week. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And you know what? I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers. Hey, post a trade plan on Forex.Today, huh? Remember, when you put an image, every time you put an image, write your analysis in the comments area so it's associated with the image. Okay? And if you don't leave a trade plan, give feedback to those that do. Common courtesy, right? Cheers.